system was a mess. Was a mess, and the dead minister improved in the quality of education. And this present so-called minister says she is when she could say no child left behind. Come on. And don't like her that said no child left behind.
Say it again.
No child left behind. What kind of minister is that? Stand up in parliament that don't even know how to pronounce and do no part of speech and have verbs and verbs to differentiate. And can you just speak to talk about the APNU?
Just like
you George Song, they're digging up. Even though we applaud development, but we must have a plan. We must have a vision. Commerce, every single work that is being done in this country now is the work of the APNU. They're continuing it. And we must acknowledge it. We must go preaching to our commerce. Let them know these people never had a plan for this country. Only plan they had for this country is corruption and thieving.
Yes.
Comrades, we must understand what is going on. We must not shy away from the facts and the reality. We must not move away from what the PDP ideology is. The ideology is not to improve the lives of anybody in this country. The ideology is to suppress people, to keep them one way. And then they got enough to go on national television and say one Guyana. I see two Guyana. Because you come into AP and new areas, and then you patch your roads, and then you go into their roads, they rip up the roads, they make it smooth. Which one are you speaking about? Comrades, I am hurt. I am hurt to see what is going on. But we, as a people, have to show them. They want to take over Georgetown. Well, come here. Which part of Georgetown? Let them come and tell me which part of Georgetown they're going to get. None. But we have a duty to ensure that they get no part of Georgetown by going out and vote whenever that date is called for the government elections. I know what surprised me. They keep moving the government election from 1 month to another to another. They never wanted it. They never liked it. They never needed it. Because they realize that they want to control every sector of this country. They want to control everything. They must be the best of everything. But we people in this country are saying no to them. And we will not tolerate the way that they're conducting themselves. They're power drunk. Power drunk, comrades. Parents, please. I always stress on the youth. Talk to your youth. They are targeting the youngsters. They are going after the youngsters.
In the entertainment section.
Please, we need to talk to our children. Let them know that this government, this so-called regime, have no plan for this country. They never will, and they never had. It stems from it stems from the beginning. Nothing has changed. We councillors try hard with little resources to deliver to our people, and we will continue in our time. We could call upon a minister of the APNU and work in combination to get things done. No, you think you could do that? Never. And now the LCG minister sending a lot of correspondence to the council, ordering what he wants or what he don't like. But we as council for the APNU got a message to him. He didn't put us there. You all are the ones decide that, look, we don't want to vote for the APNU councillors, and y'all put us there to represent y'all, and we the ones going to represent y'all. So government's got a clear message. Don't try to the APNU councillors, Georgetown. Don't ever. He must not explain the responsibility as a minister. He call him a minister because he's fit for me to be a minister.
Illegal.
They're not fit for me, minister. You know what I mean about hyena? That animal? Yeah? Those scavengers.
Say it again.
Acknowledge them as scavengers.
Yeah.
They want to depress the Guyanese people of a good life.
All right, we had one good life. We had it.
Ripping up roads all around this place, even though we applaud development, but you must have a plan. Everything that APN you put down the ripping up. But nevertheless, they're not nothing for the public servants who work tirelessly hard. What are they now for public servants? 7% increase and pays enough for projects around this country, and the people who are working tirelessly, you could tell me 7% increase and 5,000 for this pension. Put them in your place and see them will accept it.
No, they don't want no money for market.
They have to realize that the people are the government, not them. They are put there or installed there, for my belief. Yes, installed to represent and manage affairs for the people, not to dictate. But you see, these people, they become power drunk. Power drunk. So take a stand up. People, you know another thing bothers me? Why they don't want a clean voters list? If you think you're so bad, you think you're going to overcome the elections, why you don't want a clean voters list?
They don't have a vote. Because they will lose the election.
They want to win the elections, but we must be vigilant. And on this new leadership, we will always be vigilant. Yes. Because I know, from my perspective, the frighten this man for no reason. The frighten this man for no reason. What reason? If you think it's not bad, bring the new voters list and let me go to the polls. Yes. AP and you have done so much. We have provided a sense of security for our people. In 5 years, you could be free, walking the road with peace. Since these jagabats and hyenas take over, you're scared to be anywhere now. You're scared to be anywhere corner. People, you must understand that they are not for us. They are for your friends and family. Now I hear when my comrade or my leaders talk that they are for friends and family. The one shall never say yes, he's the family and he's the friends. I want to ask him, does he know the definitions of family and how to treat a family? If this is where he calls us his family and treat us like that, I could imagine how we treat his own family in his own and speaks about family. Y'all watch the debate? You watch the debate? Oh my God. The APN, you make a mess of them. Shameful. And they call themselves our leaders. Your leaders, not mine. My leaders are the APNU.
My leader was never a rat.
Because they have delivered to this country. They're the only party that could bring back a good life for all. For all Guyanese. Not one part of Guyanese and one part of Guyanese. All. We're inclusive government. And they teach our councillors to be the same, to the level. We weren't selected there by choice or by madness. We were selected based on a criteria to deliver to our people. Comrades, we as councillors deliver daily. Comrade, I have to take my leave. I want to encourage you to be strong, keep the faith, and prepare whatever local government elections call that you torment your numbers to vote and send a clear message to these people and hyenas that look, Georgia is not up for grab. No way. No way. So comrades, we love you. The APN, we love you. We will never neglect you. We will always be there for you. We will always be there for you. So comrades, be safe, have a blessed night. And remember, APNU cares for you. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah! Yeah, yeah! This is Dr. Matthews-Bey. Here live.
Georgetown is not up for grabs. Georgetown is not up for sale.
I like that.
Georgetown belongs to us, and we're going to maintain that with the government next
Real
year.
hyenas and rats.
There's nothing to boast about in the education system in this country. When only 33% of all the children writing PhD passes marks, there's nothing there to celebrate. And therefore, what the minister is doing is just making herself a clown going around the country saying there's something to celebrate. When only 1/3 of all the children in Guyana writing mathematics passes. Moving on, I'm going to call. I'm going to call our next speaker. By now, all of us know that the oil money belongs to all of us. And someone who's very competent to talk about that, who's done a lot of research on that, I'm going to call Central Exec Member, Mr. Elsie Lowe, speak to you tonight.
You get on 125 taken out and they never come back.
Good night, comrade.
Guyana will be producing twice as much oil as Trinidad and Tobago at the peak in the boom times, folks. And this is the beginning. This is now when we're starting up. In fact, last year, from that high oil price, Guyana made $60 billion we didn't even expect. That is $300,000 a household. Folks, we have got a cost of living crisis in this country. You mean to tell me that they couldn't put the $300,000 in people's hands? Somebody said to me the other day, the spirit bad. The spirit bad? You got money you even expect, and you give people this money? My goodness, comrades, my goodness. But folks, I want to tell you another story. I was driving along the East Bank Highway, along the Embankment Road the other day, and I came to a traffic light. And some small children ran up to the car begging, holding on in the vehicle begging. Folks, I just told you that this country this year will be producing twice as much oil as Trinidad in the boom, and we got children begging in the streets. Why? Why is that so?
Gotta give me money.
Folks, somebody said to me the PvP bad mind. Folks, this year we saw a budget that is twice as big as budgets only a couple of years ago. $782 billion. And you know how much went directly to cost of living mitigation, dealing with the cost of living crisis? Not even 1%. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that, folks? But this is what we're seeing from the government. This is what we're seeing. But you have to ask another question. And the other question is, if you got $782 billion floating around, where did this money go? Where did all of this money go? The budget is far larger than last year, 40% bigger. Where did the money go? The other day we saw them building some foul pens there, claiming that it's low-income housing. And now you're looking at a bigger budget, but you're producing houses that people don't even want to go and live in. What is going on? But folks, we gotta be wise as to what these people are doing. Now we were in South just the other day, and it is the centennial anniversary for founder Leader Burnham's birth, and so we were right in South there, a neighborhood that he would have established. And folks, you look at the road there. The roads are still in good condition. These roads are 40 years old. 40 years old. A road in Ghana don't last 3 months. 3 months. And I don't know what you, but it seems to me that under the 23 years, they used to last for 6 months. Now it's 3. But folks, more money, more teeth in. More money, more teeth in. But on the flip side of it, you know, they said, oh, they're going to spend 20% of this budget on education. That's what they said. When you look at it, they spend 12%. That means that another 60 million they were supposed to spend on education, they decided not to spend on education. And where do you think it gone? It gone to all these roads were broken up in another 5 minutes, and then you don't know where the money's gone, the money is disappeared. But let us ask this question. What if we had spent that money on education? What are some of the things we could have spent on? Well, the first thing is we could have given teachers a salary increase. A basic thing like that. On top of that, folks, we have talked about the need for training in this country to mobilize our young people, to mobilize everyone in Guyana to get skills, because we know the oil money is going to bring a lot of high-paying jobs. There's going to be an oil industry with a lot of jobs. Many areas in the economy will have jobs. We want Guyanese to have capacity so they can get these jobs. But we're not just saying that. We're not just talking with water in our mouth, as we say. We have committed to a minimum of 50,000 people getting at least $50,000 in student stipends to give you a brace while you are training and studying. And why is that? It's because we want to incentivize people to study. But also because we recognize that times are hard. We recognize that there's a lot of people struggling in this country. And while we try to build a future together with you, we gotta give you a little grace. You can't wash hand, they can't come clean, as they say. Folks,
Not the rats.
all of this money floating around, and it means to tell the Europeans see to themselves that we need to get some night schools to deal with the maths and English crisis that my good friend Shaka just referenced.
The same one coming where you went to.
80% of Guyanese don't have maths and English, and therefore can't get many of these high-paying jobs. You mean to tell me that these people intend to just leave it like that? They're not actually going to try and make an effort to change this, to build on this, to reform the education system? Folks, I just said to you, they said they're going to spend 20% of the budget on education. It's not we said that, that's what they said. And they've come with 12% of the budget. They're not serious. They've never been serious. And we gotta understand that is what is going on. That is what is going on. But folks, education is one arm of it. We also need to deal directly with the fact that Guyana is a poor country and a lot of people are struggling. We have said that if you are a low-income person in this country, you're not going to be paying tax. If you're a low-income person in this country, we're going to give you some money on top of your salary so that you're living comfortably. If you're a low-income person in this country, you're not going to have to pay water and light bill. Folks, we're serious about poverty. We talk about poverty because we care about getting rid of what we call in the party the monster poverty. We care about getting rid of it. This is not a party that is going to bluff you and say one thing and then not come with policies and ideas as to how to deal with these things. And I close here tonight, folks. You know, I just want to give you a little perspective on it. You know, I talk about those children who are begging on the streets. And the government said they would move those children who were there begging and try and help them. And a couple of months passed, and the children were still there. Folks, they're not serious. They've never been serious. And we have to understand what it is that we're dealing with. And that is why we gotta vote them right out. Folks, thank you for your time. I appreciate it, and you have a good rest.
Yeah, yeah.
Comrades, that's Comrade Elsie Lowe, Treasurer of the Georgetown District. Moving on, I want to call to the stage the General Secretary of the People's National Congress Reform, Ms. Dawn Hastings Williams, to say a few words.
Yeah, yeah.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
East La Penitence in the house. West La Penitence in the house. East Rumble. GS in the house. Thank you for coming out, comrades. You know, in Guyana, it's a worrying time. And why I say it's a worrying time, has the cost of living has gotten any better since we started to get oil? Not only oil, comrades, we're also receiving carbon credits. Carbon credits from the forest. You know, I am a little piece of indigenous woman. You can take me out the forest, but you cannot take the forest out of me. I think myself and all my brothers and Guyanese, we deserve better, my comrades. If you call indigenous the first people, then you should give them 85% of the carbon credit. But you know what? They are only giving us 15% out of the forest money. Imagine, we get billions of dollars from our resources, oil. On top, that we receive from gold, diamond, lumber, bauxite, oil. God has blessed each one of us with the oil money, but are we enjoying the benefits? You would have heard previous speakers talking about what is happening. How can you afford the nutritious food for a family of 7 or a family of 2 or 3 at this time? You know, comrades, Mr. Lowe indicated that each household should be given at least 300,000 from the money that we are receiving, which belongs to all of us, comrades. But what is happening? Our students are struggling. They apply to receive gold scholarship, but you know what? Children and youth around Georgetown, in some parts of Georgetown, they still do not have access to internet. So how can they benefit from the gold scholarship? And imagine a child coming from way down Timbuktu or Timbuktu. How can that child access education when there is no internet service? So, comrades, you are the power. You put up governments and you bring down governments. With the help of God. God is in charge, but God has given each one of us intellectual mind. And when you see something is going wrong, when you see your leaders are misleading, when you see your leaders having no vision and you are about to perish, you have the power in your hands to reverse things. And so I ask of you, as I thank you for coming out, continue to come out and support our leader, support this great party, the PNCR, whom Mr. Elvis Barnum has left for all of us. Mr. Barnum said to us, feed yourself, clothe yourself, house yourself. And he didn't tell us to house yourself with those little things that you see at the fall gate.
All right.
Was that a vision for Mr. Barnum? Nowhere. One people, one nation, one destiny. May God bless all of you.
Hey.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Moving on. You hear the money is all of us own? You hear the money that the country gains from the carbon credits is all of us own, and most of it should go to the indigenous people. It should go to them because they're the people who are preserving that forest for us. And so we're gaining that money through their efforts. So therefore, the most of the money should go to them, if not all, not 15%. But we know why the PPP is only giving them 15%. Because the other 85% is going to disappear into thin air. Like the monies that we left in 1992 to do over to resurface the Linden Sioux, like I heard that disappear. The PPP is in the habit of robbing us Guyanese of what is rightfully ours. Moving on, I want to call to the stage a member of parliament, a very hard worker, someone who's always in the ground, who's always reaching out to the youths. She's a teacher by profession. I want to call to the mic Mrs. Nima Flu Best, Member of Parliament.
Good night, comrade.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're in the house of here, you say, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Come on, you're going to get a line for the week that we're here tonight to bring you up to date with information and to help you to be motivated for local government election and whichever elections come, and you recognize the importance of going to the polls and casting your vote and putting the X the right place. I am quite sure tonight that you missed what we enjoyed under the coalition from 2015. Am I correct? You missed it. You missed sleeping at night. You missed walking on the road without any fear. You missed sending your children out and not have to worry too much that if they can come home the next morning or when they will come. Am I not correct? And because we missed that, what we have to do, work to get back into government. The coalition will be back. And for that to happen, it means that you have to get busy and not sit down and wait and wait and wait, but we have to get busy. You know, even as I sat in your community for about 2 hours, I look around, I walk around. This is no strange place to me because ever so often I would stop my vehicle and purchase items as I pass here. It's good to support each other's business. And I'm quite sure that if someone is to come and tell you, after you've lived your life here, you've enjoyed all the things around you, you're comfortable, that you have to get up and move out.
Just like that, would you move? Would you want to move? And could you imagine a child growing up in this area, knowing here at home, knowing all the neighbor and Auntie Patsy that might be around, and Auntie Sandra, and then suddenly you went home and recognized that you have no home. How would you feel about that? How would you feel if someone should come and tell you that you have to move from where you are and go and take less space? That is what the people of Kenview Walker had to deal with. That is exactly what the people of Kenview Walker have to deal with. Tonight, comrades, I want to encourage you not to be asleep under this PPPC administration, which seeks to marginalize, which seeks to discriminate, which seeks to displace the people of African descent. They seek to displace the people of African descent. Check what's going on. Every area where they find that they're their supporters and people that they like, what they do? Regularize. We talk about one Guyana, they regularize. They get titles, they get this. What are they doing when they go to areas where they find African people? Oh, you have to move because you want the land. You have to move. You want to go somewhere else. And not only moving you, when they move you to an area where you have to go and work extra hard to make it possible. Many years those persons would have worked, filled the land. I'm quite sure if you look at where you're living, you can reflect, you can recall how you had to build up your yard, you had to fetch your mud, you had to put some sand, you had to put some bricks, and now you can actually stand up and look out and feel comfortable. You can look at your nice trees. When I look through the avenue there and you see all those nice coconut trees, and they doesn't come like that. Am I correct? That did not come like that. It took years. It took people time. It took people effort to prune, to grow, and to ensure that those trees are where they are today. Now you imagine the PPPC administration come in and cut all them coconut trees down. That is what they did to the people of Kenview Walker. That is what we see from this administration that does not care. They do not care about our people. They do not care what's happening. And to those people, like one of my comrades said earlier, no, we got some sideway people. You know them sideway people? They no PPP. No oh PPP. I'm saying to those sideway people, stop. Think again. Think some more. Think about your children. Think about your grandchildren. Think about the generation to come. That when you decide that you want to put your foot where you shouldn't put your foot, you will end up leaving your next generation without nothing. Is that what we want? Is that what we want? Under the coalition government, we serve, the people were served equitably. The people were served equitably. Nobody came with no hamper to tell you if you don't vote to be going at the hamper. And the hampers are our resources, not PPP money. Those hampers come from our resources. You could imagine, you have hampers coming out from the CDC and these PPP people got their reps going around and selling the same hamper for money when it should be free. And why do they do that? Why do they do that? Because they're probably not getting enough perks to put in the foot, put in the mouth, put in the hand, and when they realize it's getting enough. Do we want that?
We all must be treated with respect. Tonight, comrades, I am thankful that the coalition had brought back local government elections. Put your hands together tonight for that. You know, local government is absolutely important. I can tell you, I grew up in my community, and for 23 years, I saw my community moving from a farming community, moving from having good ground, moving from enjoying good roads, to no farms started flooded out. No roads wasn't done because we didn't think we deserved it. We had no proper bridge. When you drive on the bridge, it's rickety, and all of that. And as an individual, I stood there and I said, you know what? I got to do something to make a difference. Are you willing to make a difference? Yeah. I enjoyed my childhood and recognize that my children will not enjoy theirs if I just sit and say, oh, the government not doing anything. We have to get up. We have to put ourselves in a position where we can make a difference to our generation. We have to speak out against wrongdoing. We have to speak out against the attacks of the government on the lives of ordinary citizens. We have to speak out. We cannot sit down and allow that to happen. The next cane view that will take place in this country should not go by the side way. What should happen from the time you hear the attacking? Our people jump in your vehicles, get on your bicycle, come to help your people. Because if we do not stand up, we will have many cane views in Guyana under this wicked PPPC administration. Tonight, I want to encourage you, comrades, to stand to local government elections. Let me tell you something. If they got comrades walking around here saying, and this is whoever could hear me, they got comrades walking around saying they're representing PPP. First, check to see how much money they're getting. And that will tell you they don't have the interest of your community at heart. All they're interested in is getting the little pickings, the little chicken feed. Because then they get chicken feed and the people in the top will get everything. And then they will come and say, oh, you know, we want to do some work in the community. And all of these fancy things they will tell you. But again, if it is the case where they're being paid, to represent or to run for your area or your constituency, comrades, I call on you not to be fooled. Anyone who could be bought for a few dollars will not represent the interest of your community. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Anyone who could be bought for a few dollars will not represent the interest of your community. And so tonight, comrades, I want to remind you, I want to call on you not to be asleep, but to be awake and pay attention to what's happening. They normally go and find the people who didn't do anything really in the communities. Those who just grumble for one thing or the other, but those who do not have the interest of the community at heart. And so they will push them to the front, and suddenly they will give them some handouts from our resources, not the PPP resources, it's our resources, the resources that belong to all Guyanese. And then they will come and they can say, oh, I got little rice to give you. I got some sugar to give you. I got a little money to give you. And then when they give you all these things that they're giving them, and they get in the position, just what they want to do, kill and cripple local governors. That is what they will do when they get there. So do not take local government lightly. For them, they don't want it. But they will try, even if they come with some trickery up their sleeve to try to manipulate the system as they would have done in the national election so that they can control. I call on you, our people, be awake. Yeah. Be awake. Do not allow such practices to come into your community, because when it comes, it will destroy
tell you, oh, we want to build a community. Pay attention. I said to you, pay attention. Be awake. Do not be fooled. Tonight, comrades, I want to remind you, do not forget your history. We know the PVPC administration does not care about Georgetown. You check from the time the coalition came out of office and then they start to run things. When you come to Georgetown, we smell again. The garbage again. Why? Not because the mayor and the council are not doing the work, but it's because they are starving the council of the resources and stop allowing the council to perform the work that they have to do. And because of that, that is why you find the services are poor. But again, comrades, I call on you to be awake. Do not be fooled. They're the ones that are determining what resources come to the council so that the council can do its work. We have a responsibility to stand up. We have a responsibility to speak up, because if we do not do that, they will continue to do what they're doing, marginalizing and victimizing our people. Tonight, I want to encourage you, just because you share all the grants, you know one of the things about the grants, until to this day, I smile every time I think about it. When these people share grants in certain communities, there are no criteria. From the time they reach the region and Georgetown, all the criteria come in. So when they go to their area, it's 10 persons in the household, 10 of them get grants. When you come to your area, they single out, not you ain't the owner, not you can't get, not you, and they get one person out of the 10. And that is the method in which they go about doing the business to build the one Guyana. One set of people will be enriched, while the other will be made poor. Tonight, in closing, comrades, I want to again call on you. Do not be fooled. But Marty tells us, emancipate ourselves from mental slavery. Don't feel them sluggish road is anything to talk about. Don't think that patch up thing that do it is anything to talk about. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. Don't look at the pay that they give the officers there, and then when you check it out, the inflation high. Do not fool yourself. But if we are living a good life, someone else wants something with the oil, apparently they have to get oil and the cost of living rising with the oil from the bottom, pushing it up, and only you and I have to go to the market and feel the prices that continues to rise. So tonight, like Bob Marley said, emancipate yourself from and do not be fooled. God bless you, and thank you for listening to me.
Congrats, Direct Member of Parliament, Nemo Flubes. Indeed, everything that is happening in this country is against us. We know that the people that the government are fraud, and therefore everything that they do speaks to that. They don't care about us. They don't care about democracy. Remember, it was the AP and UAFC that brought back local democracy. After 23 years, there was no local government elections in Guyana. We returned that. And you see now, local government elections is due 2 years ago, and they keep putting it off. They don't want local government elections because they don't believe in local democracy. But whenever those elections are called, we have to be prepared. We have to be ready to teach them the lesson that Georgetown is not up for grabs. Georgetown is not up for negotiation. Moving on with the program, I want to call to the mic the leader of the opposition, the leader of the PMCR, the next president of the Popular Republic of Guyana, Mr. Aubrey T. Martin.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
It's always a pleasure to be here. From here, we can speak to Lane Avenue, East Rhine Belt, West Rhine Belt, Middle Road, Castillo, Northeast Localities. And the island, I'm reminded. I have this bad way of whenever I say Castillo, I include the island. But I agree with you. Comrades, we are meeting at a time when Guyana is being destroyed by the People's Progressive Party. Between 2015 and 2020, Guyana began to have hope. Many there were who felt they can walk the streets at night because the government was dealing with crime. Many there were who were comfortable that we had trained many police to investigate crime and therefore crime will be solved. Many there were who were glad that we removed the corrupt elements from the criminal investigation department so that crime could be solved. But what has the PPP done? They put them back right there. If the PPP puts the people, if the PPP put the people who do not want to solve crime in charge of crime, the PPP is responsible for crime. In all these communities, people worry. And you know, I want to speak to the Guyana Police Force and the joint services. In the case of the police force, you are led by a compromised commissioner. A commissioner who cannot operate in the interest of law and order because he is compromised. More importantly, they have politicized the Guyana Police Force so they can use it to do the things they want to do. My friends, they issued wanted bulletin for 11 or 12 persons on the East Coast. And they contend that these persons are wanted for terrorism. They have no evidence of terrorism at no stage, but yet you want people for terrorism. You must understand what they are doing. They are seeking to instill fear. They are seeking to deprive us of our rights to protest. They are seeking to ensure that they dominate and control. And so, we have got to be prepared for the long haul. If you look at what this government is doing, you will see that they're trying to create conditions so that there is instability in this society. You know, we have to analyze what they're doing. In their own strongholds, people are reacting to them negatively. Even though they're distributing a lot of money in the strongholds, even though in Region 6, they give out a lot of contracts, they give it to the cronies close to the PPP. And so, the average person in the quarantine is not benefiting. They are feeling the brunt of the cost of living. They are feeling the brunt of the high inflation. They are feeling the brunt of PPP corruption.
because resources are not meeting them. In that situation, they are now turning to the APNU AFC strongholds to use their words. If we get 100 votes in each one of them, we can do well. Which means they have concluded that in their own strongholds, the people will not turn out.